Hey, it's Rob from the Bob Sphere, and it's the end of the month, which only means it's time for a wrap up. Okay, I read a ton of books in July. It was a stellar reading month. Only, what, three duds? One disappointing, two duds. Yeah, it's quite good. The rest, tons of praise. I'm trying to, let's not make this video too long, so let's start. I want to get it under 10 minutes. So here's one of the stinkers. This. It's a 1959 sci-fi. It's overwritten. It's dull. So the first part is slightly okay. A lot of good intentions, but I think the execution is very bad. Ah, no. Sorry. Chuck. Doesn't deserve to be in the pile. The other two, and maybe one will surprise people here considering how I like this author, is this one. Now, I love Ali Smith's novels, but I don't think her writing works in a short story format. So this is Ali Smith, the first person, and other stories. It's just a short story collection. It has a bit of that Ali Smith, touch, it's a bit quirky. But I like the first two stories. The rest, for me, didn't really register. So, give it a miss. Stick with the novels. Yeah, and this one I bought long ago. Now, I do like John Green. I think The Fault in Our Stars is a very, very good novel. I also like, I didn't mind Paper Towns, and I forget the first one completely, but I liked it. So, how professional of me, eh? Anyway, so this is okay. It's about mental illness and obsession and OCD. Meh. That was a bit shallow, to be honest. It was okay. Usually his books tend to transcend the YA genre. And I don't know. It just didn't feel good. That's all. Yeah. Meh. Okay, now from here onwards, it's quality. So, okay. This is The Pull of the Stars by Emma Donoghue. I do like her. I like Room a lot. I didn't like The Wonder. I do like Room, I should say. So I don't know her that well as an author, writing-wise, obviously. So I didn't get on with The Wonder. This I liked. It's about a nurse during the 1918 pandemic in Ireland, and it's got quite a few levels. It's a bit predictable because you know what's going to happen. Anyway, this nurse is in a maternity ward with pregnant women who are sick, yet they're about to give birth, and it's about her adventures, saving them. And then there's a love story underneath, and there's a bit about feminism. I mean, it's what you call a well plotted and well structured novel. It will not surprise you, but it is a pleasant read. It's the kind, you just sit down and read it. Yeah, that was good. I really enjoyed that. Yeah, good. This was for the Book 2 prize. I can talk about it now. There won't be a review, though, in the blog. Okay, I did learn a few things, too. Okay, next. Every month I read a book in Maltese. This is the one I read. Giusestanio Invita Culium. In English, that means daily wine. It's about you have to put it in a little bit of context. This was quite an explosive debut at the time, back in 1999, when it was published by a very tiny publisher called Minima Press. Then later on, a sort of bigger Maltese one picked it up and reissued it with a new cover and everything. And I think the author edited the ending. Anyway, it's an existential novel. It's about this bored civil worker who, he makes kind of mistakes in his life. And he has a chance to fix things, but he's not too sure if he wants to. He's kind of caught in between. It is funny. It's good. Can't complain. It was a pleasurable read. This is only, again, sometimes I think some Maltese work should be translated. This should be translated into English. But anyway, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I mean, I'm going to read he has got 4 books now. I think I'll read them all. Okay, I am a Jonathan Coe completist. So I managed to find this. This is 2 of his short stories. And, well, they're short stories. Okay. I was disappointed. It's just for collection's sake. If you're a fanatic, yes. But anyways, you can skip out on them. Okay. This one's adorable, Ida Marije. This is a book about life, especially birth, the messiness of life. It doesn't portray the beauty of it. It portrays the snot and the excrement and the bleeding. It's a very, well, I won't say gross, but it's a visceral book. And it talks about the different stages of life from birth to, well, death, yeah. Birth to death. And middle age. From different perspectives. It's really good. It's a very flowing novel. And, well, you will shudder a bit at the poop paragraphs. I just finished this yesterday. It's The History of Loneliness, John Boyne. I'm trying to read all his books. There isn't a review yet on the blog. There will be one tomorrow. Yeah, I really liked it. It's about because I'm trying to think how to put it delicately, because it's quite a sensitive subject that he touches here. Okay, it's about the life of a priest, and it's told in non-chronological order. But it's also about the church scandals that were going on during the mid-2000s, around 2007 to 2010, when a lot of priests were ousted as pedophiles. Well, what the book does mention that a lot, but it also talks about complicity, if I'm saying the word correctly. So when are you complicit? Just because you witness something and stay silent, are you part of the problem? Or should you report straight away? Or what should one do? And it questions that. And it's done really well. It's done in depth. You can tell it's a very personal book. I can feel that something happened to the author when he was young. I can feel that. But anyway, not an easy read due to the subject, but it's a very well written novel. So those were a bit. There aren't any descriptions. I can tell you that. There's a lot of discussion, especially there's one bit in the last chapter, which is a radio show between the Archbishop and DJ. It's fantastic. So I do recommend this. Yes, I do. This is great. See, we're already 8 minutes and we're only halfway through. This was great. I loved it. Siphon 4, that's a sea creature. By Jaime, I think it is, or Jamie? Jaime? I'm not sure. Batchan? I'm going to say Jamie. Jamie Batchan. It's brilliant. Oh my goodness. Okay, so it's about this kind of Robinson Crusoe character. It takes place in 1700s. But then the main character is stranded on an island, and the only way he can escape is to get the author in present day to write him out of this. The thing is, the author is suffering from terminal cancer, so the character in the book has to persuade this author to finish the book before he dies, because once the author dies, the character is going to stay stuck on this island for life and not be rescued. He doesn't want that. It's a very meta book. It is experimental, but it is readable. It's genius. Trust me. Okay, I don't have the full cover. This is a review copy. Claudia Pinheiro, Ella Knows, by the ever wonderful Charco Press, who give us translations from South America, quality ones. Claudia Pinheiro, in her native Argentina, is known as a crime writer. This is a bit different. It starts off as a crime where a girl hangs herself in a church, but her mother thinks that there's another reason. And it's a story that explores motherhood. About motherhood, yeah. I would say that's the main theme, and it's done very well. It's very cleverly plotted. Again, this is not a murder mystery. It's much deeper than that. I think I'd say you won't read something like this. It stands out. Okay, so this would be the book of the month. There's always this big highlight, a book I highlight, and you must read it. You must read this. It's a collection of short stories, and I've said I don't like short stories. Well, this bucks the trend. They are absolutely brilliant. So this is Chris Bunny, Bora Chang, and translated by Anton Her. I do have another translated book, so let me tell you. This was translated by Francis Riddle, and this was translated by... So I always think that's important. Translated by Sherlyn Nicolette Hilberg. Okay, I think it's only fair. Wait, my pile of books are falling. Okay, and I had to make a grunt too. Okay, so these start off. It's a great variety. It starts off with some body horror, and I mean really great stuff, but then it goes into fairy tale whimsy. And it then even goes into reality. This is a varied bunch of short stories. They will all stick with you. You will not forget one. The translation is absolutely fantastic. Not that I know what Korean is like, but still, they flow. It's unsettling. It's creepy. It's also uplifting. Oh, yes. Definitely read this book. I will repeat it again. Read this book. Read it. Okay, back to the experimental. We've got Isabel Weidner, Sterling Karat Gold. This is a book that pays homage to the Kafka's The Trial, but it focuses on things that are happening in Britain, like transphobia, racism, hate against migrants. It's done in that typical Isabel Weidner style. So there's a lot of metaphors. You have to read it more than once. But it's also entertaining in its own way. They did a terrific job. I think it is their best book out of the three. Highly recommended. If you like experimental fiction. Okay, so we've got two from the always wonderful Fum de Stampa Press. So we've got London Under Snow, which is a series of interlinked short stories by Jordi Lavina, or Ihordi, translated by Douglas Suttle. And we've got a selection of poems by Catalonia's most famous poet, which is Jaume, I think that's how you pronounce it, or Jaume, please correct me, Suberana. Both are great. I'm going to be reviewing another book by Fum de Stampa very soon. Yeah, I'm looking at it, in fact. Yeah, 40 Lost Years. That will be in the near future. Do check these out. They're wonderful. Nearing the end. We're nearing the end. Okay. I am a Galley Beggar Press subscriber. This is the latest by Lucy Ellman. It's an essay collection called Things Against Us. If you all know, and I don't shut up about it, Ducks Newberry Port is one of my favorite novels. This has a lot of the themes of that, about Trump, about feminism, about the patriarchy. It's done in essay form. And this being Lucy Ellman, there are some experimental bits. It's very funny. It's very sharp. It's very angry. It's brilliant. Each essay here is a winner. You will not forget them. Highly recommended. If it's your first essay collection, well, you've got a great start. And the last one. This is Shiver by Junji Ito. Junji Ito, Shiver. And this is a series of body horror comics. They are icky. They are gross. You will squirm. You may even reach for a bucket to vomit. These are unforgettable. I will read more of this in the future, from Ito in the future. There are a lot of translators, so I'm going to just name one. I'm sorry I jumped from subject to subject. And this is the first time I read manga in this way. Doesn't mention, if you go on Goodreads, they mention all the translators. There's about 4 of them, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm looking at the blurb to see. No. Okay, I mean, these are people with multiple heads, with weird spots, killer balloons. Trust me, Ito's imagination is just beyond ours. And it'll probably give you nightmares. Okay, and that's all. It was a lengthy one. We took 15 minutes. Sorry about that. I'm not going to divide them though into, because I never know what, this week or this month was a good one, but next month, I may only finish about 4 books. So. Anyway, so what's up next? It's Booker season, so lots of Booker book titles. I'm going to be doing individual reviews for them. There's going to be one for Claire and the Sun, which I'll be reading in a little bit. And then hopefully I'll receive the rest, and then business as usual. If not, we just go through the TBR list and read that and alternate with review copies. How was your reading month? I hope it was good, like mine. See you next time, very soon, very soon. Please like and subscribe.